Hello YouTube. I wanted to talk about something real quick. First of all, how to diagnose whether a kid is a rotational hitter or a skip hitter. And it's a little harder than you think because there's some gray area, but I've found that the most reliable benchmark is if the front knee goes straight, or if the hip movement stops. Okay, typically arms hitters will kind of go an incomplete hip turn and then the punching matter. A lot of times you can see this in the angles of their front legs. If the leg stops before impact, there's nothing else to do except this to get to the ball. If the bat's back here and the leg stopped, the only thing left is this. So that's a pretty clear indication. Rotational hitters, typically, and again, there's a little gray area. Some guys kind of get to here, and they're a little bit more back, so it looks like their leg's a little straighter than it actually is, and they just have that last little bit at the end to straighten it out to get the bat around. So that's what I want to talk about real quick. And it is somewhat difficult to diagnose. There's a kid that I don't know whether he's a rotational hitter or an arms hitter. I mean, he was definitely an arms hitter last year, but there's a chance that he switched to rotational hitting. I can't tell. So, but generally speaking, I can almost tell. You know, I can tell 99% of the time. Anyway, and you have to do this by video. There's no way that you can see what's going on that fast. And if you take still shots of my rotational swing and my arm swing, I think you'll see that phenomenon. You'll see that I'm locked up just a little bit before I'm actually to contact with my front knee on the arm swing. I wanted to talk about a couple things here, and hopefully this will wrap up the whole thing. I played college with a guy, Mike Redmond, and he played for the Twins and the Marlins, and he had a really great professional career. And I was looking at baseballreference.com last night, and come to find out he's ranked 1680 out of all the players that have ever played, you know, starting baseball. You're talking about millions and millions of players, not just in the United States, but around the world, that have, you know, played Little League, played Babe Ruth, played some sort of organized baseball. And I got to thinking about that, and I got to think about what a tremendous accomplishment that was. And it got me to thinking about the situation we have. And what I came up with is there's really not that many people that have actually succeeded and performed at the highest levels and done it well in baseball. Considering all the millions and millions of people that have started, there's, you know, tens of thousands, thousands or tens of thousands that have actually truly performed great, you know, and he's 1680 on the list. So I wanted to kind of liken this to you know, make a little analogy about this. So the situation is such that you have essentially gold miners, and these are the guys that know how to hit, and you have coal miners, and these are the guys that are hitting with their arms. And the situation is such that the coal miners have to go down 5 miles to get the coal, and you know, they don't get much money for the coal, and you know, all the health problems and whatnot. And I'm not trying to bag on coal miners because it's definitely an honest profession, but as an analogy, I think you'll understand where I'm going with this. The gold miners, on their hand, they have it easy. They go in, and in this particular area, gold's basically falling off the walls. It's hitting them in the head. Golf ball size nuggets. You can just go, you know, pick them up like you know, picking up eggs in the barnyard type thing. And this is kind of a strange situation because the coal miners, they don't even know about the existence of gold. They have. I mean, or else they would all be gold miners. You know, there's so much gold that all the coal miners could go and be gold miners. I mean, that's the situation. But they don't, because they don't even know that gold exists. And the gold miners, they might have learned how to hit rotationally when they were 8 or 9 years old, and they might not know. I mean, they probably don't know that you have this whole population of people that are trying to do the same thing that they do, but they're trying to do it in such a deficient manner. I mean, it's not an efficient way to go about it. The thing fails, as we've talked about. So, I got to thinking about the ramifications of this scenario, this situation that we're in with baseball and coaching, and the whole, having such a small group of people. And what has happened is the coal miners, who are totally unaware that there's actually gold, they have swamped the entire system. I said that arms hitting works, and it works up to NAIA level, for me at least. Some guys might have an all-right career in college with swinging with their arms, but the majority of the people out there are arm swingers at the amateur level. And what happens is they have swamped the system, so they have become so instead of the gold miners, because there's so few of them, and they go on to different things, there's this situation where these coal miners have just totally swamped baseball, and they're perpetuating their coal miner. They just don't know. They don't know any better. And I got to thinking about the ramifications of that system, and how that affects everything. And I'm not even talking about the pitchers. Okay, there's a lot of pitchers that are coaches that have absolutely nothing to do with baseball. Now, in my situation in college, at least, we didn't have any kind of technical instruction. There was nothing. So, and I had a pitcher. Our head coach was a pitcher. So, I think this also has a lot of implications for what you actually do in practice. See, because we didn't have, our coaching staff collectively didn't have any technical knowledge. There was no video. There was no any kind of analysis. And if you don't take video, I mean, I've looked at hundreds of swings. And if you have a baseball program that doesn't take video, I mean, like I said, I can't tell. I've looked at hundreds of swings, slowed them down, taken still shots, looked at where they're at contact, look where they are right before contact, and I have a difficult time telling sometimes whether the hitter's a rotational hitter or an arms hitter. And I've got a fairly trained eye. If you don't have a video camera, I mean, there's really no way that you can tell these differences apart, and it's just ridiculous to presume that you could. The only real explanation for that is you don't know that you're looking for anything because you don't know about any differences. And that's a lot of what the coal miners, this whole analogy, that's the situation that they're in. They really don't know that there's something better. And there are some exceptions. Now, I'll just give you a little rundown of what turning hitters to rotational hitters can do. And I endeavor to turn as many hitters as possible. And when I first got to my first year coaching, we had 2 rotational hitters in the lineup for sure. We finished 4th in the league. The second year we had 5 rotational hitters in the lineup. We finished 2nd. Now we have kind of a unique situation because we have a team called Fruitland in our league, and they're all rotational hitting. And this goes to show what a coach can do if he knows the difference between rotational hitting